At least last night, though, Musk way more focused on the cyber rodeo. This was the grand opening party for the $1.1 billion gigafactory in Austin, Texas, which began with this massive light show outside. And for the 15,000 invitees who got inside, including our friend and Tesla fan, Meet Kevin. He's got a huge YouTube channel, took a lot of great video that he's sharing with us. Guests were given the run of the plant where they saw everything from this exploded Model Y, that's what they call it, an exploded Model Y that literally floated directly above the ground so people could see the innards of the crossover SUV. They also got to see the made-in-Texas new Roadster. This is the reboot of Tesla's original EV sports car, bright red, record-setting acceleration of 0 to 60 in 1.9 seconds, and 620-mile range on a single charge. But as Elon, sporting a black cowboy hat, took the stage in the original Roadster, he talked about the challenge of building the massive factory, and he gave timing on when new models will start rolling off the line. Here's what he said.
We went through deep freeze, rain, quicksand, incredibly fast build. It was very difficult, but it's done. We're really entering a new phase of Tesla's future with 6 giant factories around the world. So, and scaling to extreme size, as you can see from this building, it's not small.
Joining us now, Canaccord Genuity's top analyst for sustainability research, Jed Dorsheimer. Jed, yes, we now know the long-delayed production of the Cybertruck will finally start in 2023. Musk says the plant is going to churn out 500,000 EVs starting next year. But for you and your trained eye, what's the most important thing you gleaned from the cyber rodeo?
Yeah, I think so. Thanks for having me. I guess the biggest change is that the car is no longer the product, and that the product is the manufacturer. And we haven't seen this since Henry Ford's Model T that brought the assembly line. And I think most that are still looking at the technical differences in terms of the product are missing the bigger picture, that really what Tesla is doing is changing the way in which we can manufacture vehicles and clean vehicles at that.
I think you're right. It's not even just the vehicles at this point. We know that the roof of this huge factory has solar panels on it. He, of course, has Solar City, that company, which does solar panels. But he is also creating something, I think it's a utility called Tesla Energy. He unveiled something like a robo-taxi. He's going to take on Waymo and GM Cruise, which are already well into development. What else, aside from, yes, the Optimus, which was the robot that's another thing that they were able to preview yesterday on the floor.
Yeah, so Liz, I'm not there on the robot, but I will say, you are touching on our thesis around that we call an Apple-esque thesis here, that can Tesla use its brand? The number of users or drivers that they have, can they take that and can they use that like what Apple did? And I'll speak for myself. When I had the iPod from Apple, it was great to store the songs on that. And now today, my family has 27 Apple devices. Can we see the same type of phenomenon with Tesla, where people that enjoy and have the vehicle start to buy Tesla Solar or the battery backup?
Right.
And can you see that move from vehicles over to energy? And I think there's a lot of value that we can see expand here with that.
He's making news right now. I want to tell you, Jed, he has just tweeted on the price of lithium. And he says Tesla might actually have to get into mining and refining directly at scale unless costs improve. He says there's no shortage of the element itself, as lithium is almost everywhere on Earth, but the pace of extraction and refinement is slow. I mean, when he sees a wall, he basically just owns the wall, buys it, climbs over it, and starts dealing with what's behind the wall that he really needed in the first place.
Well, he's factually correct with respect to lithium. And one of the other things that I would applaud what Elon is doing is by setting up manufacturing centers around the world, you reduce both the carbon as well as the energy and the cost of manufacturing. I mean, in our attempt to move to a globalized world and focus on specificity around expertise, we've shifted to low-cost regions and we've benefited from that. And now you're seeing the geopolitical tensions that are changing a lot of that. And so bringing manufacturing, whether it's mining, whether it's these gigafactories, and looking holistically in terms of the system design to exploit inefficiencies to move things ahead, I do think that is one thing that Tesla is doing for the human race that I think is very much a positive.
Elon is such a showman, right? I mean, we've been showing some of the drone light show, which was pretty epic last night, right over the Texas sky. A huge swarm of them created images of, the factory logo over the Texas sky, some of the Tesla models, the Dogecoin Shiba Inu dog logo. I mean, you could actually hear the roar when people saw that dog, because of course he's talked about crypto a lot. Dogecoin's up 1.25% today, but this event looks like both sizzle and steak. But if I'm Ford and I've already put out the F-150 all EV Lightning, I am thinking what? I am thinking I'm way ahead of this guy.
I think most of the traditional OEMs didn't take Tesla serious. They thought it was a glorified go-kart. And I think that, Elon has changed that calculation. And there's, I think what we're seeing is the attempt to play catch up by most of the traditional, and I don't want to discount their efforts. I mean, I think Ford is certainly doing a great job in terms of rethinking what we need in a pickup truck, not to mention GM or VW with Porsche and Audi. So I do think you're going to see a lot more efforts, and what we're seeing is a faster acceleration from internal combustible engine vehicles over to EVs, and I think that's only going to accelerate.
Yeah, I mean, the minute they come out with a sub 25,000 or sub 27,000 car, that's it. I mean, you will see a lot more adoption there. Jed, good to see you. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
Sure, down about 2.25% right now.